Welcome to glorious India and the KD Jadhav Indoor Hall. This is the second stop on the HSBC BWF World Tour season for 2024. And the first of 6 Super 750 events that will happen throughout the year. The rest, of course, for French Open, the Singapore Open, the Japan Open, Denmark and China Masters. But 750 tournament, the series starts right here, and it's all about this wonderful trophy, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals trophy, brought out today by Param Chowdhury, one of the up-and-coming doubles juniors. Finished third, actually, the Junior International Grand Prix last year. A lot of big results expected from him and his partner. Also plays mixed doubles. We'll keep an eye on him for the future. It's great to see, of course, these young players out here on court. Now, for court 2, here on quarterfinals Friday, we're going to kick off with an epic match. Women's singles, Tai Tzu Ying versus Haebing Jiao. That's actually a repeat of the 2018 Malaysia Open final. The 4th seed take on number 6 seed. The mixed doubles will follow that. Go Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie, the Malaysian mixed doubles partnership, happy with their first quarterfinal appearance of the year against Zhang Zhenbang and Wei Yaozin. Women's doubles will follow that. Li Wenmei and Liu Xuanzhuan taking on Yung Nating and Yung Pui Lam from Hong Kong. And that will be followed by the men's singles. Li Zijia and Kota Narioka should put on quite a performance. Zijia also in his first quarterfinal of 2024. And Kota Narioka, the 2nd seed. Women's singles will follow that. Wang Zhiyi and Busanan Bongrafan both put in great performances in the pre-quarters, taking out Aya Hori and Akane Yamaguchi. Women's doubles will follow that, and it's an all-seeded affair. Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara, the 8 seeds, taking on Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young from Korea, the number 3 seeds. And then Koki Watanabe steps on court again. What a brilliant display he put up against Li Shifeng in the pre-quarters. He's up against Shi Yuqi, the number 6 seed in the men's singles. And men's doubles will be the final match for court 2 on quarterfinals Friday, and it sees Liu Yuchen and Wu Zhuanyi, the 8 seeds, taking on the former world champions Aaron Cha and So Yik, the number 4 seeds. And it's great to see, of course, them having their first quarterfinal of 2024 as well. All in all, some fantastic matches that are coming your way on court 2, and all of these pairs and players in men's singles, women's singles, men's doubles, women's doubles and mixed doubles will, of course, be fighting for those semi-final berths as we move into the weekend. It's been a fantastic week of action here at the KD Jadhav Indoor Hall, and for our first match, here's the women's singles draw, and as you can see, 4 berths available and all the usual suspects in attendance. Winner of this match, Tai Tzu Ying and Haebing Jiao, will face An Se-yong or Yao Jiamin, also in her 2nd consecutive quarterfinal for 2024. And at the bottom half of the bracket, Wang Zhiyi and Busanan Bongrafan, who we, of course, will be seeing on court 2 a little bit later on, will take on either Nozomi Okuhara, who's in very rich reign of form in the last 6 months of 2023, or Chen Yufei, who is, of course, the stable contender and a very worthy world number 2. So the semi-finals, well, mouth-watering matchups who could be turning up, of course. But it all depends on what happens here today in the quarterfinals as to who's going to make those final 2 brackets in the final this Sunday. Great to see fans flooding into the KD Jadhav Indoor Stadium. A little bit later start for this quarterfinals Friday. Previously, the match has been kicking off just after 9 a.m. Now it's about 12 noon, and as you can see, some Tai Tzu Ying fans in attendance already. But there's been a lot of fans that have been pouring into this wonderful arena. They have been entertained. And here they come. Tai Tzu Ying looking more and more likely that this is her final year of playing. She was quoted as saying after the Malaysia Open last week that that was going to be her last appearance at that event. Of course, we'll have to wait and see for the final confirmation later in the year if that's true. Longest serving women's number 1, 214 weeks, taking on Haebing Jiao, who's a solid world number 6. As I said, both of these players actually met in a final in 2018 at the Malaysia Open. That was when the Malaysia Open was a Super 750 event as well. And that was won by Tai Tzu Ying. But what we're looking at here, of course, is a very tactical affair. Both very technical players. So ready for the coin toss, and as you can see, it's an absolutely momentous head-to-head. 15-4.
Black is the call.
The Tai Tzu Ying.
You on the toss. This side. Will you serve or receive? Serve.
So a big match for both of them. Tai Tzu Ying, of course, made the final of the Malaysia Open last week and was ousted in an epic affair against An Se Yong. And that might just be repeated. 29 years old now, born in Kaohsiung, Chinese Taipei. Her parents were actually part of the Kaohsiung National Badminton Committee, and dad was a firefighter. So started playing at a very, very early age. And she has, of course, been world #1 before. Those were her tournament results leading to this quarterfinal. Gao Fengji in 36 minutes and Supanita Katong around 35 minutes. So comprehensive run-outs, and hasn't dropped a game yet. And as for Heibing Jiao, 26 years old, so she was 21 when they last met in that final at the Malaysia Open. Born in Suzhou in China. Slightly taller. Tai Tzu Ying, 5'4". Heibing Jiao, 5'7", and ranked 6th in the world. And that #5 ranking, well, that was back in 2022 of November. And her tournament results coming here. Michelle Lee back from injury in her second match, or second tournament, I should say. That was straight games, and then Pornpui Chochuwong that we watched on court 2 yesterday, and that was straight games as well. So both players with much to lose here, or much to win, of course. BD Chaturanga is our umpire for this one. Joined by our service judge, Mohammed Najib Ismail. Well, once again, when you've got 2 top 10 players, it's going to be about who has adjusted well enough to the conditions, and the conditions here at the KD Jadhav Indoor Hall over the week. Well, of course, it's winter up in Delhi, so as you can see from the jackets all from the fans, so cold, drier conditions, slower conditions, conducive to rallies, and both of these players love to get stuck into the rallies. But maybe it's going to be her, Tai Tzu Ying's, incredible shot making and deception, net plays that have really been a hallmark of her career since 2007 when she started. And that could make the difference. Heibing Jiao, a very solid player and gets around court very well. So if she can keep doing that, she might just be able to pull off an upset here. But definitely Tai Tzu Ying would be the favorite, even though there's only a couple of places between them in the world rankings. For Tai Tzu Ying, it was a couple of titles last year. The Taipei Open, her home open, and of course the World Tour Finals, one right at the end. And she was a runner-up at the Career Open in French. For Heibing Jiao, 2 runner-up finishes, 2 finals made. That was the Thailand Open in Japan. So about ready to get underway here.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Heibing Jiao, China. And on my left, Tai Tzu Ying, Chinese Taipei. Heibing Jiao to serve, level, play.
So Heibing Jiao gets us underway.
Service over, 1 low.
And that's what I mean about shot making. And she hasn't wasted any time here, Tai Tzu Ying.
Low.
That's a beautiful shot. Steps into it. one of these players, Tai Tzu Ying, that can seemingly make shots from pretty much any body position.
Service over. 1-2.
Jiao tries down the line.
Service over.
Doesn't work out.
3-1.
So not only will it be about who's adjusted to the conditions, of course, that is going to feed into the unforced error stat. And that might be very significant indeed. Nice switch up there from Tai. Well, it's just the 5th point. But that's the kind of rally that's going to be treating the fans here. Very slow conditions, as I said, and hardly any drift from the week. 32 shots, our first benchmark for longest rally. And more importantly, solid 4-1 lead off the start. That's a good winner from Jiao.
Service over. 2-4.
Winner straight across the body.
Service over. 5-2.
Well, in terms of outright winners, Tai Tzu Ying has definitely started a little bit more brightly. And she's also keeping it tight, which is something Jiao has to work on.
6-2.
Another wonderful backhand from Tai Tzu Ying. It's gone out.
7-2.
So 7-2. And as we approach the mid-game interval, mistakes still flying off Jiao's racket.
8-2.
So far, easy enough for Tai Tzu Ying. Well, I think that's the first mistake that we've seen from Tai Tzu Ying.
3-8.
And it was off a pretty difficult recovery anyway.
Service over.
Well, certainly the defining factor, I think, in this first phase of action has been Jiao with an unforced error count. That's beautifully played.
3.
Well, if you
11,
do let Tai Tzu Ying stay in that mid-court area, then she's got a number of options. 11-3 at the break.
就你脚落地一定要出球，所以这个 然后你几个得分你是压倒后场率的底线啊，保证自己的后场性，整个自己要自信一些。虽然你想把威胁打出来，但是就是我先进去，然后再把威胁打出来，知道吧？不能送分给他，他觉得得分很容易的话，他就越打越有信心，越打整个使球信心越足。所以3分的一个球，虽然是多。
For 20 seconds. For 20 seconds. Coach distribution. Coach distribution.
So back on court after the first salvo of advice from their coaches.
11-3. Play.
Still looking to find her range. You can see that
12-3.
frowning face. She knows she has to tighten that up, especially on that left side. Looks nicely left.
Service over. 4-12.
Yep, definitely not quite what she was planning on that left side. There's been 2 or 3 times now that's happened. A little bit more aggressive. Great pickup by Tai Tzu Ying. Ambitious,
5-12.
even by her standards. That's one good way of
6-12.
nullifying Tai Tzu Ying's effect at the net, is to plant yourself right at the front. Look for that kill.
Seven, 12.
Well, certainly hasn't found her perfect gear. That's a good winner. Beginning to claw back, but in her pre-quarters match against Pornbui Chochong, she was a lot more compact, Having Jiao. Yes, of course, it's a higher-ranked player that she's playing, but very few unforced errors from her in that match, and Tai Tzu Ying was imperious against Supanida Katadong. Good defense by Tzu Ying. Angled net shot. Doesn't work out for her.
7.
Well, this first game might just be beyond the China number 6 now. And of course, I said it would be her first game lost this week, if it does indeed fall. Tzu Ying, that's an interesting net exchange. What a wonderful shot. And that's what I was talking about. That's just brilliant. Look at the body position. No look.
7.
Unbelievable. That's certainly shot of the first game, if there was indeed a category so far. Oh, she's pulling out all the stops now.
16, 7.
Just find such creative ways to pick out winners from front court, mid court. Oh, that's wonderful. Such great awareness of where Bing Jiao was. 17-7.
7.
She's really picked it up, Tai Tzu Ying, in this second phase of game one. A bit
Tai
long.
Tzu Ying challenges called out.
If there is any drift, and it's very slight, then it is actually that way in that corner. So possibly that shuttle picked up a bit of wind. Still worth a challenge. And here it comes. All close, but no
Challenge
joy.
unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. Service over. 8-17. Play.
Nice return by Bing Jiao.
9-17.
Tai left it a little bit loose. Again, very delicate. Bing Jiao in the right place to kill that off.
10-17.
So that net area has at least been working for Bing Jiao, but she's got to tighten up with the cross courts, left and right, but definitely left. Left, of course, from our viewpoint, right from her side. Wonderfully controlled. So difficult when you're rushing in.
Service over. 18-10.
Well, they're actually not wrong. As I said, the lady to hold the longest record at being world number one, 214 weeks. That's, of course, back at 2016. Nice.
Service over. 11-18.
Has been such a glittering career for Tai Tzu Ying, and it would be a great shame if she, of course, does retire, as the indicators show at the end of this season. I'm sure she's going to make it a season to remember if it is indeed her swan song. Silver medalist at the Olympic Games,
11.
double medalist at the World Championships. That was 2021 and 2022. Gold medalist at the Asian Games. And if she makes it to the final this week, that would be her 29th final on the World Tour since 2018, which is really amazing.
20 game points.
So game points,
11.
and 9 of them. Just incidentally, of those 28 previous finals, 16 titles and 12 second place finishes. Almost had that.
Service over. 12-20. Game.
Well, it was a net tumble in the end that
First
gets it,
game
but
won by Tai Tzu Ying. 21-12.
But really, Tai Tzu Ying was in great form and takes the first game 21-12.
前自己做的不错啊，主要是你自己记住，你跟他打必须要打他，所以你后面这个速度加起来了，这个他的威胁明显小很多。但是就是打他的时候，自己出球的合理性，怎么样减少自己的失误啊，然后往哪里打，这个很重要啊。第二个还是自己的心态上面，不管怎么样，然后你后面给他的态度，也就是跟你平了，所以这个态度很好，你知道吗？你在给对方心理上的压力，他的球的质量和威胁也会没那么大啊。所以做好这两个方面，一个就是要打他，把自己态度管理啊；第二个有信心跟他去跑。
For 20 seconds. For 20 seconds. Watch it in future.
So on court, ends changed. And strangely enough, Tai Tzu Ying was so dominant on this side, near side of the court, and that's actually a slightly less favored side. Now she's hitting into that light breeze on that side. But as I said, she played such a great first game, and it was all mid-court based, really. Now, of course, she should be able to open up down the line with no hesitation.
Second game, level, play.
And let's see how Jiao responds. And that's that tiny bit of wind that Jiao now has to deal with.
Low.
Oh, wonderful return by Tai Tzu Ying. That's in.
Service over. 1-all.
Oh, reflex return. Instinctive stuff.
2-1.
That's just beautiful. Look at that. Jiao, of course, one of the two top players that are fighting for that second Olympic spot. Paris 2024 qualification happening till April 28th this year. And it's her and her very good friend, Han Yue. So she will be happy that she's already made the quarterfinals, because Han Yue, of course, was out in the second round.
3-1.
Queen of deception. I think that is an adequate, in fact, more than adequate. That's a perfect term for her, Tai Tzu Ying. She loves to disguise her shots, and is just a master in that front court area. Another beautiful drop shot. And again, she's really come out the blocks fast in the second game. Open court. Said when she's in that mid-court area, just below the tee, then someone with her shot-making ability has so many options. So how do you beat Tai Tzu Ying? Well, there aren't very many, of course, that have a formula. But for Jiao, you'd have to think that she's going to have to break out of a rhythm. Upping the tempo, and again just ends it with that cherry on top. Another one of those beautiful drop shots.
6-1.
Pulling out all the stops here. The former world #1. Best ever, I think, over a certain period of time, sure. And of course, Tai Tzu Ying, and she's admitted this, Tai Tzu Ying is definitely the lady to beat. What a shot! Maybe I should pull back what I said, because that was the kind of shot the best ever would play. Look at this. Again, no look. Twice she's done that in this match. Such great spatial awareness to pull off a shot like that. And her defense right now is just solid enough to absorb anything that Jiao is bringing. 8-1 and worthy of it. Fantastic play. Again, now firing into the minor drift, but I did say she's got the freedom to open up into backcourt, and that's exactly what she's done these last few points. Well, so far it's been solid in every department from Tai Tzu Ying. Front court, mid court, back court, left, right. I can count off the top of my head maybe 2 or 3 mistakes she's made. She netted, of course, I think at the beginning of the first game, but looking in good stead. Again, cross-court winner into mid-court. Beautiful execution.
10-1.
So, second mid-game interval, and it has been one-way traffic here in the second game.
So
11-1,
interval.
and Jiao has got to overcome the frustration and find a way through here.
然后就说自己球，因为你是聪明的，知道球往哪里打，但是很多时候自己的出球质量不如自己的想法，知道吗？所以就是自己的思想怎么跟上自己的行动，啊，自己的行动更要配合上自己的思想，好吧？啊，还是跟他走。
20 seconds.
So back on court. And
Coach, return to your chair.
What do you do when you're playing a Tai Tzu Ying in this form? That's what's currently the discussion in that China camp. Lai Chen Cheng, Tai's coach, must be very happy with the way she's progressed. And of course, Liu Yigang for Jiao, I'm sure has been asking her just to try and up the tempo, try and break the rhythm. But at 11-1, it's a massive task for Jiao.
Service over. 2-11.
Well, that's a better angle on that net exchange. That's a forced error.
Service over. 12-2. Service over.
Oh, she tried it again, the
3-12.
no look clear. This time it goes the way you'd expect it to go from that position. But 2 out of 3, it's just still incredible. Again, make that 3 out of 4. That's good pressure from Jiao.
4-12.
That was a sneaky shot by Tai Tzu Ying. Oh, this is a good little burst of points from Jiao. She's
12.
sticking to the plan. Covering the net a little better. Just killed all the speed off that.
Service over. 13-5.
Wow, what a time
14
for a bad read.
5.
The back line. 14-5. Oh, almost.
Service over. 6-14.
Well, Tai Tzu Ying is such a wonderful player to watch when she's on form. And the performance she's put in so far here, it's got to be worrying for everybody else in the draw. Of course, no Akane Yamaguchi anymore in this
15
final draw.
6.
As we said, ousted by Busanan and Bangrafana. It was a great performance by the Thai player.
Fault.
Just couldn't keep that in.
16-6.
Still bounces off the line. Looked a bit loose, but it wasn't. That was good again by Jiao. Credit to her for trying her best in difficult
16.
circumstances. Well, she's definitely stretched Tzu Ying this time. And she sealed the deal. Back. Well, she had an opportunity at the start of this rally. Now it looks like everything's settling down. But that's a wonderful little block.
Eight, 16.
Well, it just goes to show the vast, in places, gap between the top four and everybody else in the division. 33 shots, our longest rally. Oh, what a reply from Bing Jiao. It was an instinctive block.
9,
point blank
16.
range. And it's landed right on the money. Now, one thing you have to say is Bing Jiao was committing a few unforced errors, too many in the first game, but she hasn't really in this second game. And it's been Tai Tzu Ying that's just elevated her performance, especially in the first half of the second game. And it looks like you need to have spectacular shots, just like that one in the last point, if you're going to get past her. Frustration.
Service over. 17-9.
It's got to be tough. Psychologically. That mental game is more than half of the battle, really. Just clips the top of the net.
Service over. 10-17.
Put her in a very difficult position.
Service over. 18-10. Service over. 11-18.
Again, had her out of position. But again, leaving it too high. Very open position, and she could have gone left or right.
19-11.
From that side of the court, and it is one of the very few mistakes that Tai Tzu Ying has made this morning.
19.
Oh, I should say this afternoon. Capitalized well, opportunistic. So, 8 match points.
20 match point 12.
Just under 40 minutes.
He Jiao
No, challenge coming.
called in.
So the match hanging on this call. Did look a bit out. Nope, absolutely not. What am I thinking? In the form that Tai Tzu Ying has been in,
game.
how was that going to be out? A fantastic performance from the former world #1, who makes her second consecutive semi-final in 2024. And of course, the mouth-watering match in the semis against An Se-young might be on the cards.
21-12, 21-12.
Score symmetry, 21-12, 21-12. And just a wonderful performance for her fans in attendance. Solid, solid output from the world #4. Maybe 2024 might just be her best ever year. Who knows? But she's still alive here in India. That was match point, and of course came down to a challenge. Absolutely on the money. So there's confirmation of it. 21-12, 21-12 in 33 minutes.
Okay.
So back on court 2, and after a electrifying performance from Tai Tzu Ying in 36 minutes, it's the mixed doubles up next. Go Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie taking on Zhang Zhenbang and Wei Yazin. Well,